The Limitless Podcast with Amitashuklatherapy.
Hello everyone and welcome. I hope you're all well. Today's episode will be focusing on the real self, and then there's the false self. So when I say the real self, what I mean by that is our authentic selves, whatever that may be. Some of you out there may already be living your authentic truth. And I think that's absolutely wonderful if whoever listening to this can say that they are living their own truth. And then there's the false self that may have adapted to who you have been told you are or who you believe yourself to be. Many influential factors that form the false self. But this can be a way of perhaps wanting to be socially accepted. It's really not a nice feeling to feel like the odd one out. So we may change parts of ourselves or adapt in a certain way to be liked and to really fit into society. I mean, there is us at our core, and then there are influential factors such as our societal norms, cultural beliefs, and conditioned values or morals that are embedded through our upbringing, our experiences. I mean, really, can we truly see ourselves without accepting that our experiences shape or become a part of who we are? I mean, this in itself is quite a debate. I mean, the perception of the self is a big question in itself. Is it something that we are innately? Or is it through our experiences, our conditioning, that forms part of who we are and that contributes to our sense of self? We all have our different views, our own different beliefs on what the self may be. What is in our awareness is all that we know. But there are many unconscious thoughts, feelings, and behaviours that can really go unrecognised. So our experiences and interactions with people throughout life can negatively impact our internal belief systems that we have of ourselves. And these can become so rooted internally that we can hold them as our truth, when in fact it may not actually be who you are. And really challenging yourself and seeing what else it may have been about. Whether these are internal representations that you have digested or whether these are introjects that you have internalized. The false self can really act as a mask, a facade. It may even be too challenging that perhaps an internal voice or a real self that may be speaking quietly to you could be there, could be true, could be the essence of who you really are. It really is worth taking the time and creating the space for yourself to figure that out, to see what else is there, and to spend time with another part of you, allowing yourself to bring more of that through. And it's about giving the other parts a voice that may think or feel something quite different. And that is allowed. And in my opinion, this is where the true essence of you lies and where your true potential is. So I have a few questions here that you may want to ask yourself and think about the answers that you have. I will just briefly mention what I mean by each question. And then it could be worth either you pausing and answering the questions to yourself or even writing them down. And allow yourself to think, feel, and if you are writing down, to just do it freely and see what comes out. So the first question is, what is the tape that is on repeat in your mind? So that can be a tape that keeps repeating itself over and over and over. And an example of this may be, I'm not good enough, or I can't achieve something. It's worth paying attention to that and being honest about what it's saying. The second question is, whose voice is it and what are they telling you? So is that tape your own Or is it a voice that you've internalized that may not, in fact, be your own? And if you sit with it, you may notice a name or a couple of names may come to mind. And trust that. The third question is, where's your voice? And are you following your own truth? And that's really going back to what I was saying about that inner voice that may have quietened. It is there. It is your authentic voice. And if it is, are you following it? And if you notice yourself saying, it is there, but I'm not following it, go a level deeper and ask yourself why you're not following it. What's stopping you? What are perhaps the barriers that may be there? And that can be a good place for you to start. So we've gone through what the tape may be, whose voice that may be. And then what you're doing is going inwards and asking yourself what your voice is, and if you're following that voice and that truth. So if you were to follow your truth, what would that be? And how can you begin to create that? Because you are allowed to. The negative perceptions or the belief that you can't do something is your false self. The real self knows that you can and will find a way to do it, because nothing is put inside you if it's not something that can be manifested or can be achieved. And it's important that you remember that and hold on to that. So if you don't feel like you are living your authentic truth, is this coming at a cost to you? And what is that cost? As you move further away from your true self. And it's the space that is created between the real self and the false self. And that's really where the experience of depression, anxiety, and loneliness can really be heightened. Imagine moving in the direction of your true self and taking the journey towards discovering your real self, because what that means is truly a unique experience, and one that uncovers layers of yourself that you may not have even realised are there. It's worth investing and taking the time to find this out. So I really hope this has helped today. And if you would like to know more about me, please visit my website, amitashuklatherapy.com, or follow me on Instagram at amitashuklatherapy. I'm Amita Shukla. The mind is limitless, and so are you.
The Limitless Podcast with Amitashukla.